let us know how the electron was discovered. Before 19th century, most of the theories were not based on experimental observation, so most of them are ignored. In later part of 19th century, scientists were performing experiments with glass tube in which a high voltage electric current was passed through gas with varying pressure conditions. Observations have been made under different voltage and pressure conditions. During their experiment, they have observed that under high voltage and low pressure conditions, gases act as good conductors of electricity, and electricity flows through them in the form of rays. This flow of electric current in the form of rays is called as electric discharge, and hence the glass tube is called as discharge tube. He was the scientist who studied the existence of these rays. His name is William Crookes, and in the honor of his work, the discharge tube is named as Crookes tube. Lightning is a natural phenomenon which is an example of passage of electric current through gases under high voltage conditions. Now let me display the Crookes tube on the screen. This tube is sealed at both the ends and fitted with two metal. The blinking arrow indicates the vacuum pump which is used to reduce the pressure. So this is how generally the Crookes tube looks. Many tests soon revealed that these rays were in fact negatively charged particles. Once Benjamin Franklin discovered which electrode was positive and which was negative, then it was confirmed that these rays were moving from negative electrode to positive electrode, that is from cathode to anode. The right end of the tube is coated with zinc sulfide, that is fluorescent material. The above picture depicts the condition when no electricity was passed. The below picture depicts the condition when high voltage electric current was passed through the gas. The right end of the tube is glowing with a green color. This indicates that the cathode rays were moving from cathode to anode. Soon after the cathode ray started hitting the zinc sulfide layer, it started glowing with a green color. This was all about the cathode ray experiment done by William Crookes. Now let us discuss about the cathode ray experiment performed by J.J. Thomson with a specially designed tube. In some ways, the cathode ray tube he used was similar to that of a picture tube in TV. But in his experiment, the right end was coated with a phosphor. The only difference between the Crookes tube and tube designed by J.J. Thomson is at the right end it is bulged. Also, the fluorescent material used here was phosphor, not zinc sulfide. Now let us discuss the results of J.J. Thomson experiment. The first result is displayed on the screen. These cathode rays flow from cathode to anode in a straight line unless influenced by electric and magnetic fields. These rays are not visible as such displayed on the screen and can be detected by fluorescent or phosphorescent material when rays hit them. Remember, these rays are not visible, but the animation are created in order to visualize the deflection of rays under electric and magnetic field. The third result states that these cathode rays are negatively charged, and this was proved by their similar behavior to negatively charged particles under influence of electric and magnetic. Now let us observe the deflection of electrons under the influence of electric field. Remember, cathode rays are nothing but a beam of electrons. The blinking arrow indicates the two metal electrodes that are used to generate electric field perpendicular to the direction of cathode rays or motion of electrons. The blue color line is nothing but cathode ray. As soon as the electric field is generated, the cathode ray started deflecting from its mean position. Creating the electric field is nothing but providing the metal electrodes opposite charge. Observe the button on electric field generator. Firstly, it is moved to the top in order to increase the charge on the metal electrodes. Indirectly leads to increase in electric field. As I already mentioned, increase in electric field is nothing but increasing the charge on both the plates. You can clearly observe that when the button on the electric field generator is at the top, the rays deflected maximum, indicating that electric field is maximum. Always remember that the electric field is directed from positive electrode to negative electrode. Hence, in the above case, as positive electrode is at the top and negative electrode is at the bottom, the electric field is directed downwards. Since the rays deflected in the direction opposite to that of electric field, it was confirmed that they were negatively charged particles. Similarly, deflections were observed when magnetic field is applied perpendicular to direction of cathode rays. As soon as the button on electric field generator is brought down, that is, the magnitude of charges on both the plate is decreased, the rays became normal, that is, deflection is not, indicating that the deflection is more when the magnitude of electric field is more. Magnitude of electric field is more when the charge on both the plate is more. Now let us observe some more animation of cathode ray experiment performed by J.J. Thomson. The next animation indicates the deflection of cathode ray in the presence of magnetic field created by horseshoe magnet. So this was all about the deflection of cathode rays in the presence of electric and magnetic fields. Now let us move on to the fourth result of his experiment. Even though cathode ray experiment was performed using different gases, the results remained the same. So he concluded that these cathode ray particles are in fact in all matter. And also the fact that their properties do not depend on nature of gas. Now let us move on to the fifth conclusion from his experiment. states that cathode rays are made up of material particles in the sense that the particles of cathode rays have mass. And when a light pedal wheel mounted on an axle is placed in the path of cathode rays, it started rotating, indicating that the particle of cathode rays have some mass. The next conclusion is, when a metal foil is placed in the path of these cathode rays, the metal foil becomes heated. And the final conclusion is that they ionize the gas through which they pass, and this property is used in making cathode ray tube TVs, that is CRT TVs in short. The arrow in the picture indicates cathode ray. We can clearly visualize an atom getting ionized in the above picture. So this was all about the conclusions that are drawn from J.J. Thomson experiment. In next video, I will be discussing the important property of electron that was derived by J.J. Thomson from his experiment, that is charge to mass ratio of electron.